So day 3 of fall camp has wrapped up, and for those of you that think we've been a little too positive lately, I have some not so nice things to say about today. And there also might be an injury that happened that I really don't want to talk about. What's going on, Canes fans? Now, before we dive into today's update video, I need you to check and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I checked my YouTube analytics and it told me that only 30% of my viewers are actually subbed to this channel. It literally doesn't make sense to me that many people, 70% of you, type in Coach Coop or look up these videos each time before they get posted when you could literally just subscribe to the channel, and that way you won't miss anything. You know that the college football season is almost here, and that means that the content is going to ramp up big time here on this channel, and we have some huge things planned just like we do every single season, and you're not going to want to miss a single second of it. So just double check that red subscribe button and make sure that you've clicked it. So let's go ahead and get the bad stuff out of the way from today. And I've been telling you guys that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because, you know, if everything was perfect, we wouldn't even need to practice because we're already perfect, right? I know that we've been pretty positive overall about some things, but it's literally only day 3. You know, so it's really tough to be super critical, especially when they're not even in full pads yet. But there were definitely some lows today, some bad things that went down. Today was, again, shoulder pads and shorts. That's what the team was rocking. And there were a ton of dropped balls and bad throws today. The accuracy and timing just seemed off all around with everyone. All of the quarterbacks and almost all of the wide receivers were very inconsistent today, and you can plug in some of the tight ends as well. A lot of the focus in practice today was on short to intermediate throws, and let's just say that offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson did not walk away very happy. He was super vocal when venting his frustrations with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. And my hope is just that this group is spending a lot of time outside of practice working on their chemistry and timing. Because, you know, the receivers can, you know, stay after practice with the jug machines and catch 100 extra balls after practice or 500 balls after practice, and that's all fine and dandy, but at some point they do have to actually try to run some of these routes and work on their timing with Tyler Van Dyke and the other quarterbacks. It's super important. And staying on topic with the wide receivers, Tyler Harrell. This guy's become a fan favorite here on my channel, the Slant to Harrell. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just ask Hoodie Girl or maybe hang out in one of my simulation streams on Friday or Saturdays. But anyways, Harrell had to limp off of the field today and went straight to the trainers. I realize that a lot of people are going to say, Coop, you know, don't freak out. He was just limping. It didn't look too serious. But the deal is, the reason why I'm really worried about this and going to be following it closely is because during his time at Alabama, the reason why he didn't receive as much play time is because he had a lingering lower extremity injury in his foot. So, you know, that's something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, and I hope that this thing doesn't become much more serious. And there's a good chance that it doesn't, right? We have a really good medical team at the University of Miami, and just, it's nothing to freak out about right now, but we do need to at least make it known it's something to watch. I think what it really is I just had PTSD from last season, and who can really blame me, right? You probably do too. The tight end battle is starting to become more interesting on day 3. We have a little bit of back and forth at the number 3 spot between Skinner and Riley Williams. I believe that number 1 and 2 seems to be sort of interchangeable between Arroyo and McCormick, which is kind of what we expected. But Arroyo is still being held back and pretty limited right now just as a precaution because they're pretty confident he can be that 1 or 2 guy already. Now, just remember, I do have to plug a disclaimer into every single one of the fall camp videos. Don't look too much into the depth chart stuff right now. The coaching staff is experimenting a bit, and there's still a lot of cross training going down on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So, at times they're going to put some guys in some different situations and rotate them around because they're trying to see what we're working with, what's going to put us in the best position to win ball games. However, I do think it is still important to mention who's taking reps where with what team, because I want to see how this thing, plays out throughout fall camp and going into the season. Let's keep an eye on it and see how it continues to change and evolve. Sticking with the offense, Zion Nelson is a name, of course, that many people continue to ask about, and he's still very limited right now. And there's the possibility, based on the way that Maryville talks, that Nelson may not start this season for multiple reasons. Overall, though, the O-line performed pretty decent today against the pass rush, especially Cooper. That guy is making a difference, and he's beefed up a lot during the offseason, and it shows. In the running back room, Mark Fletcher appears to be the guy that has the best hands. He's been very consistent in the passing game in these first couple of days of fall camp, and I fully expect him to get some work this season, even if he's the number 3 guy. Of course, we're still seeing Parrish at number 1 and Chaney at number 2, and time will tell if AJ Allen or Johnson can earn some playing time. And right now, as we've been reporting, Citizen still looks like he's not going to be ready for the season, unfortunately, because a lot of people are very hyped on that guy as well. But, we do have depth in that running back room, and I really like this group that we have right now. And right now, the most impressive D-line combination appears to be Kelly and Mesidor on the outside, with Leonard Taylor and Branson Dean on the inside. All 4 of those guys are strong, explosive, and very disruptive. Malik Bryant and KJ Cloyd continue to make strides and show that they're getting better and better each day. But I feel like the 2 guys that have already sort of separated themselves from the pack, if it's possible to do that 3 days in, right? I mean, things could change. But 2 guys that just continue to look a step ahead of everyone else is Malagoa and Basaint. I think it's going to be hard to keep those 2 guys off the field this season. Of course, the linebacker room is another one of those position groups where a lot of eyes are on it because we've struggled in the past. But there are some guys that show some promise in that room, and we'll see how things play out. But those 2 guys, Malagoa and Basaint, I think they're kind of starting to solidify a starting position in that room, and that's just my opinion. And last but not least, still tons of praise coming from the coaching staff for cornerback Jadis Richard. This guy has shown that he can play at the nickel, star, or even safety position when needed. This guy is a playmaker. He's honestly one of the fastest guys in the backfield, and the coaching staff will back this up. They've been very hype on this guy in the first few days of fall camp. But with all of these position groups, guys, again, time will tell. It's just fun to keep an eye on it and see how things unfold throughout fall camp. So let me know down in the comment section below, your thoughts, how you're feeling about, 3 days in. We're going to see some adversity. We're going to hit some speed bumps, depending on who's reporting on fall camp. Some people are going to be all positive, some all negative, some kind of a mix in between. But again, really, it's tough to tell exactly what's going down until the guys strap up, suit up in full pads. Then we'll kind of at least get a little bit better of an idea how things are looking. But, it's not all going to be good. It's literally impossible for it to be all good. Tyler Van Dyke is not going to make every throw. There are going to be dropped balls. There are going to be missed field goals, missed tackles, poor reads. It's going to happen. And that's the point of fall camp right now, is to try to clean these things up as best as the coaching staff can. And even so, there's still, this is a shocker for some of you, I'm about to blow your mind, there's still going to be mistakes made during the season. We have a new OC, a new DC, several new position coaches. And even if that weren't the case, we're all human. So mistakes are going to happen. No one is perfect. Literally no one. So, just keep that in mind when we're talking about fall camp, but don't be afraid to address the negatives and talk about it, because constructive criticism is how the players and honestly coaches learn and get better. So as I already said, let's chop it up down in the comment section below. Man, I'm just super pumped and excited that college football's almost here. So we're back on full-time grind time with the content. You guys know I'm not big into recruiting and some of the off-season stuff, but the actual season is almost here. The guys that are rocking the orange and green. So your boy Coop is pumped, man. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.